Hey folks, it's Julien of the Lafayette Trail. Today, I am at Niagara Falls, more specifically on Goat Island. Did you know that Lafayette came here on June 5th, 1825? At the very end of the American Revolution, Lafayette saw in the issue of slavery unfinished business. He immediately took actions to resolve it. So we're going to talk about his stance in favor of abolition of slavery and in promotion of the universal human rights here at Niagara Falls, in a community where the Underground Railroad means a lot. We have a really special program for you here today. We're going to have sunsets, sunrises, none of which Lafayette saw when he was here on June 5th, 1825. So it's going to be really special. And this is really my advice for you today. You should grab some popcorn, have a seat, and enjoy the ride. Let's go follow the Frenchman, let's hit the trail, and let's see what Niagara Falls has in store for us. Good morning from Goat Island. It is 5:30 in the morning. There's nobody on the platform here on Luna Island. Luna Island is separated from Goat Island by the Bridal Veil Falls, at the bottom of which is the Cave of the Winds. I think we're in for a great trip here. I think the sunrise is going to be fantastic. We have the American Falls behind us. I think it's a great scenery. Goat Island again is the island that separates the American side and the Canadian side. And it's owned by New York State, basically the Office of Parks and Recreation and Historic Preservation of the state of New York. And we're so happy to be here and catch this amazing sunrise at 5:30 in the morning. We understand that we're very lucky. I mean, when you said yes about this Lafayette Trail marker on Goat Island, I couldn't believe it. I was like out of my mind. I couldn't believe it. So what made you decide to pursue this opportunity with the Lafayette Trail here at Niagara Falls?
Well, with Lafayette's background, it does tell a compelling story. And here at the Falls, we're trying to tell stories. We're trying to enhance our visitors' experience. And one way to do that is tell about some of the famous people that have been here, and so this makes a good story. But it's not, it just doesn't go with that. We have a robust vetting process through our State Historic Preservation Office. Between what they learned and what they reviewed and felt, and with the support of the Commemorating Foundation, we just felt, hey, you know what, this is a good idea. This should work well, and it should contribute nicely to the park and help our patrons with their experience.
Lafayette was an American hero, right? Revolutionary War. If you look at his entire life and you go beyond his contributions militarily, he has a very inspirational legacy. He was an advocate of the abolition of slavery as early as 1783, challenging people like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, later on James Madison. He was a proponent of the universal human rights as well. It's a very inspirational legacy. When the Revolutionary War was over, Lafayette saw in the issue of slavery and something that unfinished business. And very quickly, he wrote letters to George Washington asking, and I'm going to read a quote. He said, "Permit me to propose a plan to you which might become greatly beneficial to the black part of mankind. Such an example as yours might render it a general practice." And basically the idea was that Lafayette really believed that the institutions of the United States were superior. They were leading the way around the world. And that if progress were to be made here, we could then distribute it around the world. This is a quote that Lafayette, it's a letter that he wrote to Thomas Jefferson in 1822, just to show you what his stance was about slavery in 1822. He said, "Let me confess, my dear friend, I have not been convinced and the less as I think more of it by your argument in favor of dissemination. To see that plague cured while I live is next to impossibility, but I would like, before I die, to be assured that progressive and earnest measures have been adopted to attain, in due time, so desirable, so necessary an object. That was on June 1st, 1822. So I want just you to think about this as at a time when the country really scrutinizes the founding generations dealing with slavery. I find comfort in knowing that Lafayette has had those conversations with all of them very early on. And when I go around the country and I talk about his message, it's really great to have the data to support those claims. And it really helps to create a sentiment of national unity. And it's all about that today. It's about national unity. It's about a national hero that has a potential, like very few other figures in this country's history, to unite.
So first and foremost, I think that Lafayette is a person of national significance to Americans for the role that he played in helping us achieve democracy, right? And also in influencing and trying to influence the early founding fathers on abolition. And when you tell the story of the efforts of people like Lafayette or the efforts of people like John Morrison who helped people get to Canada, they're all interconnected into a larger story about who we are as Americans and our journey towards freedom for everyone, and that not being clean or easy, that you needed voices like Lafayette's, and you needed action like John Morrison's and Harriet Tubman's, and you needed people to take positions, and all of that's part of the story that we tell here. This is a place where everybody, Frederick Douglass was here, Lafayette was here, you know, Harriet Tubman was here, right?
And seems like the perfect place to talk about abolition.
Yes, this was the location of the original suspension bridge, and that bridge was built and ushered freedom seekers like Harriet Tubman over to Canada. This was the narrowest area of the gorge. It was the first bridge that connected two countries, the United States and Canada, or connected our two countries, the United States and Canada, right here at the Niagara River. So that bridge was important for commerce, but that bridge ultimately became that pathway to freedom for people who were escaping slavery in the American South.
Markers funded by the Pomeroy Foundation are well-researched, using only primary source documentation and vetted by professional historians. That's very, very important to us. We have numerous marker programs and with a variety of themes. So if you're interested in learning more about our grant offerings, please feel free to visit our website. We could not fulfill our mission without extraordinary partners such as Julien and the Lafayette Trail. You know, the trail was established to commemorate Lafayette's 1824 to 1825 farewell tour, with the bicentennial of the farewell tour only a few years away. The Pomeroy Foundation has committed to funding 175 markers along the trail, thank you, in multiple states from Maine to Louisiana. And it doesn't stop there, especially when you have an opportunity to collaborate with an organization that is so passionate about preserving history, and that's the DAR.
Although the surroundings and the view differed a bit from what we enjoy today, it is easy to imagine that we share the same feeling of awe and wonder that Lafayette experienced as he paused near the edge of the falls for nearly half an hour of quiet contemplation. As the text of each marker provides a brief description of one stop of the farewell tour, it is exciting that the Niagara Falls marker will join the others on the Lafayette Trail to provide a comprehensive account of that unique 13-month period in our history when Americans from all walks of life were united in patriotic celebration of General Lafayette as he made his triumphant return. The New York State Daughters of the American Revolution proudly recognize General Lafayette as a patriot who helped achieve American independence, and it is our hope that this marker will help perpetuate his memory and share the history of his 1824-1825 tour with the millions of visitors from around the world who come to experience the wonder of Niagara Falls. Thank you so much.
Our very purpose when we were founded in 1890 was to honor the memory and the spirit of the men and women who achieved American independence, men like Lafayette. So on behalf of those 180,000 members of the DAR, let me say, Lafayette, we are here. I also would like to say, Julien, we are here. And we would not be here were it not for Julien.
The marker, as we pointed out, the text is limited because we really want them to be point of entries into the topic. Hopefully people reading them will have an interest in that topic and they will explore more of Lafayette's life and amazing legacy. On June 5th, 1825, General Lafayette, abolitionist and human rights advocate, was escorted to Goat Island by Mr. Porter to see the falls. So Mr. Porter was the owner of Goat Island. I think it's great. We have this Lafayette Trail logo on top and our partners at the bottom, but you know, this logo, when you see them around the country, you can know that those markers are thoroughly researched and that what's written on them is exactly what happened as documented in the primary source materials at the time. And I hope the more the merrier. I really hope that more people get into his legacy. I think it's great. And I think the crowd we get today is a testament for that, right? So thank you all. And I think now we're going to take some pictures. Thank you for being here. Thank you again. All right, that's it. That's our trip to Niagara Falls. I think we covered a lot in this episode. I really believe it. I think our marker on Goat Island is going to be seen by millions of people over the years. And I also think we explored the falls from a variety of angles. I hope you enjoyed it. It certainly was a great experience. I can't wait to share more episodes with you. Thank you for following the Frenchmen. Thank you for following the Lafayette Trail. I hope I see you one day on the trail. In the meantime, look out for more episodes. Thank you very much. I will see you soon.